Hello, my dear students. Welcome to science class. So, we are continuing with chapter number 12, electricity and circuits. Alright, so let's see what we are going to learn today. Today, we will be learning about electric conductors and insulators. Now, some materials allow electric current to pass through them, whereas other materials do not allow the electric current to pass through them, right? So, on the basis of these properties, we can divide all the materials around us into two groups. That is, number one is the conductor and number two is the insulators, okay? So, at first, we will be learning about conductors, then we will be learning about insulators, okay? So, what is a conductor? Those materials which allow electric current to pass through them are called conductors. Okay. Now, what is electricity? The flow of electric current is called electricity. So, we can also say that those materials which allow electricity to pass through them are called conductors of electricity. Alright. All the metals are the conductors of electricity, right? Among them, what? Among them, silver is the best conductor of electricity. Silver metal is the best conductor of electricity among all the conductors. Okay. Followed by what? Followed by copper and aluminium metal. So at first what happens? The most conductivity of the element. Okay. Number one, it comes what? It comes silver, followed by what? Copper and aluminium. Okay. Then comes the beryllium, calcium, magnesium, rhodium, sodium and iridium. All right. Now, electric wires, you will find electric wires, they are generally made up of what? Made up of copper and aluminium. This one is the copper and this one is the aluminium. Okay. Outside there is a plastic coat. Why there is a presence of plastic coat outside, that I'll discuss later. But like if you open this plastic coat, what you will find inside, you will find that this kind of wire is present. Okay. And this is made up of either copper or what? Or this aluminium. Okay. Now, why they are made up of copper and aluminium? Because they are the conductors of electricity. You all know that electricity, it flows through the wire. Okay, the wire, it needs to connect. Okay, connect the circuit. So, electricity, it needs to flow through it. Okay, and as because the metals are the good conductors, so therefore, the metals are generally used, and of course copper and aluminium. Now since silver, we all know that silver is the best conductor of electricity, but then also silver is not used as because silver, it is quite expensive metal. Okay, rather than this copper and aluminium, these are the affordable and cheap metal. Okay. Now, other metals like iron, steel, mercury, gold, they are also conductor. Okay. Even the metal alloys means the mixed metal. Okay. Like you can say steel, brass, bronze, etc. They are also what? They are also the conductors of electricity, right? So, all the objects made up of metals are also conductor. For example, the objects such as what? Such as you can say coin, since it is made up of metal, stainless steel, copper. Okay, key is made up of stainless steel. Then pins are also made up of stainless steel. Aluminium foil, that is also made up of sheet of aluminium. Sewing needle, iron nails, safety pins, all these are the conductors of electricity. Like you already have seen, like when I taught you about the switch and circuit, over there you have found that safety pins, they are used as a switch, isn't it? As because it is made up of metal and electricity, it can pass through it. Okay. So these all are what? These all are the conductors of electricity. Now, among the non-metal, that is graphite. Okay, graphite, it is a form of a carbon. It is also conductor of electricity. Now, this is actually the graphite, and mostly the thin black core of our pencil. This one, the thin and black core of our pencil, it is called pencil lead, and it is made up of graphite. Okay. Now, this is a non-metal and this is a conductor of electricity. All right. Now, the human body. Okay, the human body, it does not conduct electricity as good as metal. Okay, the human body, it conducts electricity to a very small extent. So, you can say that human body, it is a poor conductor of electricity. Okay, now a person gets electric shock on touching an uncovered electric wire carrying current because some electric current passes through its body. Okay, water, it also conducts electricity to small extent. So you can say what? You can say water, it is also what? It is also a poor conductor of electricity. Okay. Now, like this one is a distilled water. Distilled water means you know that water which are free from any kind of impurity. Okay. That is poor conductor of electricity. But yes, if the water it is mixed with salt, okay, or the saline water, sea water, then that is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, so sometimes you will find, like if a person operates an electric switch with wet hands, he can get electric shock because water present on the wet hand can conduct electricity from the switch into its body. Okay, now next comes the importance of conductors. Okay, now you know that conductors, they are used to carry electricity. Okay, for example, like the electricity, it is carried in our home by copper wire or aluminium wire. Okay, as because what? As because the copper and aluminium are conductors of electricity. Okay, now electricity, those are used in our homes, they can be also dangerous. Okay, they can be also dangerous. A person will get electric shock if he touches a bare wire carrying the electricity. Okay, now here you can see that like the heating element. Okay, the heating element of iron, okay, or heating element of anything which conducts the heat. Okay, you will find that inside the coil, these are made up of what? These are made up of metal. Okay, as because electricity can pass through it, and electricity, it has got a heating effect. Okay, and that is why you will find that these coils, these are made up of what? These are made up of metal. All right. Now, what are the applications of conductors in our daily life? Now, mercury, you all know that it is a liquid metal. Mercury, it is used in thermometers to absorb heat. Okay. Then aluminium, it is used for making frying pans to absorb heat quickly. Motor vehicles and engines, these are made up of iron to conduct away from the heat. So, these are the several application of conductors in our daily life. Okay. Now, next comes what? Next comes electric insulators. Okay. Now, those material which do not allow electric current to pass through them are called insulators. So, in other word, we can say that those material which do not allow electricity to pass through them are called what? Are called insulators. Okay. So, insulators are also known as what? Known as non-conductors of electricity. What are the examples? Examples are, you can say rubber, then plastic, like you can say polythene, PVC. Okay, ceramics, then porcelain, asbestos, wood, glass, mica, cotton, jute, thermocol, wax, paper, air, and most of the gases, these all are insulators. Rather, you can say that they do not allow electric current to pass through them. Okay, now all the objects made of insulator materials are also insulated. For example, like if I say rubber is an insulator, so therefore an eraser or a rubber gloves, okay, rubber balloon, these are also insulator. Okay, wood is an insulator, so therefore wooden block, wooden cork, matchsticks, okay, these are also insulator. Plastic, it is an insulator, so therefore plastic scale, polythene bags, and nylon shocks, okay, these are also insulators. Okay, similarly, as because candle, these are made up of with wax. Okay, so this also acts as what? Acts as an insulator, right? Now, the outer covering of electric wire, it is made up of plastic. Here you can see this is the electric wire, and outer covering, it is made up of with plastic. Even the plug points also. Okay. Now, why it is made up of plastic? Because plastic covering does not allow electric current to pass through it. All right. Air, you know that air is present all around us. So air is an insulator. Okay. So in other word, we can say what? We can say that air is a non-conductor of electricity. right? So when an electric switch is in the off position, then air is present between the end of the wire connecting to the switch, right? Now since air is a non-conductor of electricity, so therefore electricity is not conducted across the gap between the end of the wire in the switch, and thus the electrical appliances, it does not work. Okay, now airs, as because it is insulator, now if it is a conductor of electricity, then anytime anywhere we can get an electric shock. Okay, so thus it proves that air, it is what, it is an insulator. Okay. Achha, next is the importance of insulator. Now, what is insulators? Now, insulators, these are generally used for what? Used for safety. Okay. Now, insulators, it protects us from getting the electric shock, and insulator, it allows us to handle the current carrying wire, then switches, plugs, sockets, and other electrical appliances safely. Like, for example, the electric wires are covered with insulator like plastic or rubber. Now, being an insulator, the plastic or rubber covering, it does not conduct electricity flowing through the wire into our body when we touch it. Right? So, if we happen to touch the current carrying wire covered properly with plastic insulation, we will not get an electric shock. Right? So, the plastic covering on the wire, it protects us from electricity that is flowing through the wire. Okay. So, in other words, we can say that plastic insulation, it makes the electric wire safe to touch. Okay, till here is it clear? Here you can see this is a socket. This one is made up of with plastic and this is with metal, as because electricity it need to pass through it. That is why it is made up of metal. But this part, as we, because we touch it with our body, so therefore it is what it is made up of with insulator, so that we do not get electric shock. Okay, so those part of an electrical component or appliance which are touched by us while handling are made up of insulator, like you can say plastic, then rubber, wood, etc. Okay. Now, next, as I said you that rubber, plastics, then ceramics, they are often used to protect us from the dangers of electricity, as because they are good insulator. For example, you will find that when the electrician they work on like cables or wire switches, etc., they always wear what? They always wear rubber hand gloves. Okay, like this, rubber hand gloves. Okay, see, one electrician is working by wearing what? By wearing rubber hand gloves. Why? Because rubber is a good insulator and it protects them from electric shock. Okay, now you will find the handles of the tools like screwdrivers and pliers. Okay, those are used by electrician for repair work. They always have got plastic or rubber covers on them, as because plastic and rubber are insulators which protects the electrician from electric shock when he is handling the current carrying electrical appliances, right? And one more thing, it is always advisable to wear rubber sole shoes or rubber chappals, okay, while operating the electrical appliances. Okay, now as because rubber, you know, already know that it is an insulator, so therefore it will protect us from electric shock in case where there is a leakage of electric current from an appliance. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you, everyone.